You see, his second presidency, he was ascending to be Mashiach's, in a concert, you have an opening performer who performs before the one who is escorting Mashiach into the world. The Eibishter has chosen that Esav should be the one that should do that. I've discussed this many times, and this is kind of coming from many other people that are very known on the internet, rabbis who speak about Mashiach. There's 2 or 3 that have been speaking about Mashiach for the last 15 years. Everybody's waking up now. I had the schus to be one of those 2 or 3 that have been speaking about Mashiach for the last quite a long time. And from the other ones, everybody comes to the same conclusion, that he is clearly a Gilgal or of Esav. There's everything about him. He's got that arrogance of Esav. He's got the red hair. He's unpredictable. He's very, and there's a lot to it. Okay? What's interesting is that the pasuk says that V'rav Yavod Sa'ir, the older one will serve the younger one. The ultimate prediction of the Geula is that the older one, Esav, has to become a servant to Yaakov. And when someone becomes a servant, you become a servant. An ultimate servant is to become the servant forever. Now, Esav, interesting, Esav was not a Gentile. Esav is a Jew. Because his mother was Jewish. Not like Yishmael. Yishmael was not Jewish. But Esav is Jewish. Because his mom was Rivka. He's called a Yisrael Mumar. He's called a Jew, an apostate, or a Jew that goes away from whatever. Off the derech Jew. Was Esav, but he wasn't a descendant. When a Jew is being made into a servant forever, how does that happen? You need to pierce their ear. They have to get a piercing in their ear, and then they're made into a Eved forever and ever. And if anything is telling, where did it happen? It happened on Shabbos. And where did it happen? In Pennsylvania. Do you remember which city in Pennsylvania it happened where they tried to shoot him?
Wilkes-Barre.
No, it wasn't in Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre is the yeshiva. No, maybe close by, but it wasn't. What? Say the word again. Say the word again.
Oh, butler, like he served, like a butler served.
A butler is the chief servant, is a butler.
Oh, wow.
So he gets his ear pierced when he's in butler, which is everything. The names, we know in Hasidus that these are not jokes. No, it's interesting. I was in Eretz Yisrael. I was in Israel giving over a class all about this last year in Pardes Chana. And one of the Jacobson girls, you know the Jacobson, Shira, one of them, Shira or everyone, jumped up and said, and when I was talking about it, said, hey, and it happened in Butler. And in Butler, she's a Butler. Butler is, and that's it. So it's very interesting. Because Hashem is, if you look deeply, you can see that everything is in the names of everything that's happening. So what you see is the Eibishter literally prepared this person for this event, that he can be there right now to make this decision at this time when it's not easy for him, because a lot of his base is giving him this. It's not American first. It's not American first. What are you doing?
This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. These Satans should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Kahala Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshai B'Hashem Ruach the Lord, my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who the house of David reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the piercing of Trump's ear, which has made him a literal slave to Amalek. Now, we're going to get into a couple of things, but real quick, I just want to cover what that Amalekite said. And when I mean Amalekite, I'm referring to the so-called Jewish people. You see, the so-called Jewish people, they are imposters. They are, in fact, themselves Amalek, the one that they claim all their enemies are. They are actually Amalek. And what is Amalek? Amalek is the top tribe of the nation of Edom, or as that supposed rabbi said, Esau. Okay, now he went off and said that Trump is Esau in the reincarnation. Now he's partially right. He is not himself Esau, right? But he is an Edomite. Okay, an Edomite are the descendants of Esau. Okay, Amalek simply is the firstborn grandson of Esau, making them hence get the birthright blessing, which is why we say Amalek is the top tribe of the nation of Edom. So that so-called rabbi, he was off by saying that Trump was Esau in the reincarnation, and that him coming back is a representation of Esau serving Jacob, as it was prophesied in the Bible that the elder would serve the younger. Because why is this off? Well, plain and simple, Jacob is the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, who are the true biblical Israelites, or the true biblical Jews. Now, really, only one of the 12 tribes of Israel are considered Jews. That would be the tribe of Judah, or the people who we would refer to today as the so-called Negroes. Now, that being said, Edom are the so-called Caucasian and Israeli races of today. So that means in the kingdom of heaven, when the Messiah returns and establishes the true world empire, that these Edomites will be serving the Israelites. Okay, basically everything's going to be flipped back up, right side up again, and the Israelites, the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and all those whose father's lineage goes back to that bloodline, will be on top, and they will be the rulers of the world along with the Messiah. Okay, and we, Lord willing, we're part of that elect that will make it into the kingdom without having to die to get there first. Now, the other thing I want to clarify is that fucking moron said that Esau is a Jew. That is impossible. Okay, Esau, let's get the Bible timeline so that way I could show you. And this is how you know these guys are the imposters, because they don't know shit about the Bible, especially him calling himself a rabbi, which is ultimately a term for teacher. Right? That guy doesn't know shit about the Bible. Okay, so this is the Bible timeline. Let's just go down real quick to Isaac and Rebecca. Okay, so for some fucking reason, he said that Esau, who comes from Isaac and Rebecca, that he's a Jew because Rebecca was a Jew. And that is total fucking bullshit, because Rebecca, she's a relative of Laban, who was Abraham's brother, Nahor. Again, his family's lineage ultimately produced Rebecca, Laban, and from Laban comes Leah and Rachel, who are the wives of Jacob, our forefather. Okay, now from Jacob, he had the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, and these 12 tribes of Israel comes Judah. Okay, Judah is where the Jews come from. Okay, and that devil trying to say that Esau is a Jew because his mother was a Jew. Notice he gets really quiet, or he tries to say it under his breath that she's a mitzvah. I don't know, he called her something, but it's a fucking lie. Okay, because Esau, when you go Jacob, lines of Jacob, if you go down, Esau was Jacob's sibling, which means Jacob did not come from the line of Judah. Okay, that devil, he comes from this line here, right? Where Esau married Ada, Ada had Eliphaz married, or he had a child with this concubine, Timnah, basically a prostitute, and they had Amalek. Okay, and from Amalek come the Amalekites, which is where you get Agag and Haman and them from, and then that rabbi guy, right? Those are the Amalekites, or they would be Edom. Now, that being said, let's get on to the meat of the lesson. Okay, now, the reason I wanted to bring out this lesson is because of what that Amalekite said. Okay, he equated. Now, real quick, what he said is true. Okay, in the Bible, there's a scripture that tells us that that if a slave wants to bind himself spiritually to his master forever and not leave him, that he must perform a certain task, and that is to basically get pierced through the ear, or really it's any part of the body, and this is a signage of servitude. Okay, now let's read this. This is 1 Corinthians 2:14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. These idiots who posted this on X are making fun of this rabbi because they think this is nonsense. They think it's foolishness. Let's in fact go and see. Like, for example, this guy here, right? Red Pill USA. Does any of this sound even remotely rational to you? And that's Esau, right? That's Esau not having a spiritual inkling. Remember, these Edomites, they were spiritually blinded by God when God cursed Cain. Okay? Remember, Esau is Cain in the reincarnation, which is why when he came out leprous, white, right? Red, basically, right? Just like, and that's the mark that Cain had, right? The Lord removed his melanin. Now, that also means that these Edomites, they don't have a spiritual radar for God. Now, they can believe in everything else. They can believe in Satan. They can believe in Buddha. They can believe in frequencies. They can believe in every fucking thing out there but God, right? Everything is possible but God of the Bible, right? And that's because God spiritually blinded them from seeing him. Okay, now the thing is these Amalekites, however, they, being the top tribe of Edom, they understand what the truth is, and they understand. Now this devil here, he probably literally thinks he's probably a Jew, right? But the leaders at the very top, they understand that they're the Edomites. Okay, there's tons of testimony saying that they understand that their lines go back to Edom, and that they are the Edomites. And this is ultimately why they're crashing out, and they're ultimately trying to extinguish the seed line of Jacob, you Israelites, you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, right? And they're trying to take their blessing back. But again, if you go through, you just watch what some of these people are saying, they can't understand what's going on, right? They think this is all a joke. But you see, this stuff that they think is just a joke, there's spiritual implications to it, namely this law. Okay, this is Exodus 21:5. This is that law that rabbi was talking about. This is also the law which will bind everybody who takes the coming mark of the beast, which is the RFID implantable microchip, which is going to go into your hand or into your forehead, be it like the Neuralink or the brain chip that they're going to allow people to use to hold their digital identity, their digital social credit score, their digital money, and all that stuff, right? That is the mark of the beast that is going to be coming. The one that's going to be issued by the government, right? Or Esau's government. Now, it tells us, it says, Exodus 21:5, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then the master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl. Okay, what is an awl? An awl is basically, it's an ice pick. Okay, but back in the day, in ancient biblical times, and even to today, an awl is what you use to make holes in leather or wood or things like that, so that way you could put things through those holes. Okay, it tells you here, it says, in the Bible, an awl is a small pointed tool used to bore holes, primarily known from Exodus 21:6 and Deuteronomy 15:17, where it is used in a ritual to signify a Hebrew servant's permanent commitment to their master, piercing their ear to the doorpost as a symbol of willing lifelong service. The act symbolized obedience and dedication, reflecting a covenant of servitude, and later spiritually it's seen as a metaphor for believers opening their ears to God's word. Okay, so that being said, this is what these Edomite devils are. This is the law that they are going to use to try to enslave all the world spiritually to serve them. Okay, now that Rabbi Devil, he ultimately is explaining how Trump, when they had him out there perform that fake ass ritual, because that shit wasn't, they didn't blow off his ear. You know, they show his ear is totally fucking fine, as like you see here, right? Cartilage doesn't grow back, but again, it was a symbolic gesture that Trump did, which is why they did it in Butler, right? So that way Trump could then go through that, you know, ritual, that humiliation ritual, and ultimately bind himself to his masters and ultimately be part of the new world order that Amalek is establishing, right? Trump wants to be at that table. But again, what they're doing is, again, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, one, I don't give a fuck of if Trump is under the servitude of Amalek, but I wanted to show you that these devils understand that the act of piercing is an act of you spiritually, you know, what does it say? Because it was so beautifully said. It's a symbol of willing lifelong service. The act symbolized obedience and dedication, reflecting a covenant of servitude, and later spiritually. Okay, so one thing I want you to see is this scene. I seen this a couple months back. It's from this amazing show with Jason Momoa called The Chief of War. Okay, and this ultimately covers like a story of the Japhetic people of the South Seas, the Hawaiians. Okay, these are the original Greeks that were like the Greeks that were there before Esau came in and drove them out, and they ultimately fled east and all the way down to the South Sea, and they dwelt there. But again, this is why when you see the chief here, he has the headdress that look just like the Greek headdresses, and they have similar customs. Well, in this particular scene, Jason Momoa, he is challenged to a fight, right? It's an amazing show. You should really watch it. It shows you a lot of great scenes, and it's just a really great show in general. But that being said, it's on Apple TV. But this scene, when I seen it, I knew exactly that I was going to make a lesson about it one of these days, because they literally show Jason Momoa piercing through this guy after he basically beats him up. Okay? And we're going to watch this now. There you have it. That there, which was a symbolization of ownership, Jason Momoa basically symbolized that he now owns that man. He defeated him, and he now basically spiritually owns him. Right? Because again, what I cut out of that scene was kind of like the gruesome parts where he broke both of his arms, which is why that man couldn't move. Okay? But that right there is the same thing as what you're seeing right here. This is a video of somebody getting one of these RFID chips implanted in him. Now, what he got himself is not the mark of the beast, right? This is simply just an RFID chip, okay? But this here is going to be what they're going to do to the population once they establish the RFID biometric sensor, which is going to be required for you to claim your digital identity and your digital presence within Esau's new world order. okay? Because again, right now they're bringing out all the digital goodies. They're going to bring out the digital money, the digital ID, the digital economy, and all these things, right? But to be part of it, they're going to eventually say that they're going to need to secure that it's you and not some Somali scammer from Minnesota who is, scamming billions of dollars and all this bullshit that they're letting happen, so that way they could have a precedence of scams happening, so that way they could then come out and say, well, we need this to verify that it's you. Okay, this is going to be the biometric verification needed for you to be part of the New World Order. Okay, and by you doing this, this is you symbolizing that you are going to serve these Edomites forever. And this is why it tells you this. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. This is where 666 comes from, okay? When you get into that word mark, let's go back real quick. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. The apostles and the elders have showed us that we must go into the words. You see, these devils, they use the precision of language to hide their schemes, and it is the foundation of their magic, which is why Trump had that ritual performed in Butler, okay, which is why they do a lot of things that have meaning through words, okay? So, for example, that word there, it's important to look up what the word mark looks like. So here's the word here, mark, G5480, Korogma.
Strong's G5480, Charagba.
Right, tells you here a stamp, an imprinted mark, or mark stamped on the forehead, blah, 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 the mark branded. But you see, you got to go into the root word, okay? What does Korogma come from? Well, it comes from this word, Korox.
Strong's G5482, Charax.
What is Harax? It is a pail, a stake, a palisade. What is a palisade? That is a palisade. Okay, that's a palisade. It's a spike. And what is a palisade like today? Well, there he is. That is what they use to implant these RFID chips. So when John the Revelator seen that they were getting a Korox, right? This is what he's seen the people get. In fact, he was seeing this. Okay, he was seeing people get basically stabbed through with an awl. Okay, or what he perceived as an awl. Okay, so he understood, because he understood the law, right? He understood that if a master wanted to have his servant serve him for the rest of his life, that he had to, stab him through he had to pierce him through with an awl. Now again, why would a servant want to stay with his master? Well, because again, in the law, it tells you that if you're a slave under your master's house, and if you get yourself a wife and you get yourself children in that servitude, which is why it tells you here, I love my wife and my children, those are not your property. Okay, when you were set free after the 7-year mandatory, servitude in biblical slavery, you were permitted to go free after 7 years. Okay, but the children and the wife that you may have acquired during your servitude do not belong to you. They belong to your master. Now, if you wanted to keep your children and keep your wife, what did you have to do? You had to stay with your master. Hence, this is why you would do this. Okay, that is the context of this. So, that being said, this is what's going to happen to all those who are deceived by the device of Satan and fall for his tricks. This is Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so these devils, they just showed you what we have been telling you, that why these devils are going to try to pierce you through with these RFID implantable chips, because what they're going to be telling you, that it's going to be a biometric sensor required to verify you. In the spiritual sense, it is going to symbolize your eternal servitude to them. Okay, they want to make you a forever slave, and this is how they do it. Just like how this rabbi said that Trump is now their eternal slave because he performed that ritual and had his ear pierced through, which again, it didn't fucking happen, but it's a symbol. It's a symbolistic ritual that took place for Trump to basically win, which is why what happened after that took place? He got the golden ticket and they put his ass right back into the White House. Okay, he had to perform that before Amalek would trust him and basically give him the keys to the kingdom, or let him in to the Amalek's table. So either way, Akim, I just wanted to show this. I wanted to show that example from that show, Chief of War, and hopefully this video was edifying. So until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Hakodash. Shalom.